Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another painting demonstration. This morning I am going to paint with oil paintings. This is my last glove. Gotta go out and buy some more. I got my mini beautiful canvas, so cute, so easy, so quick to cover. My palette, my disposable palette, few brushes, mineral spirits, the odorless one, and some oil painting medium. So this morning I've decided to go with a bouquet of roses. Maybe because I've planted roses for the very first time and they're all blooming in my new garden and they're so splendid. Also, I find that roses are really easy to paint from imagination without necessarily having to look at something. That's because I like to look a lot at roses, and I really have developed a visual memory of it. The more you observe something, the more familiar you get with that you observe. So I have some light pink. I love it. I've ordered it. You definitely don't need to have one straight from the tube. You can just add some pink to your white. But I find that I'd rather avoid working with pure white. So I've ordered a bunch of really light tinted whites. That's a yellow. This is a brilliant violet. It already has a little bit of tint into it. I'll go with a bit of greens. How those two go so well together. And let's see, I'm gonna go with really bright colors today. Just indicative of spring and inviting an early summer vibe. I need something dark on my palette as well for my dark values. This is a Payne's Gray, the really dark tinted blue. And let's see what else. Maybe a little bit of red. Have a bright red. And I think maybe a different type of blue. So I have a lot to work with. I have a variety of colors. I love having them there. So it's sort of, because I paint a lot in an intuitive sort of approach. So I love to have options there. Even though I don't have a clear plan right now, I just have an idea of what I want to try. But I want to have handy different possibilities. That's why I put a variety of colors there. Some of them I may not even use at all. So I got some mineral spirit right here on my brush, because I want to start with a very, very light, just sort of a tint here to cover the canvas, so I won't have raw canvas showing through. No, I forgot to put that. I think would help a bit of yellow. And then you have your entire color wheel there with the primary colors. So just start with something very light, also thin, very thin layers here with some of that thinner. So this will dry pretty quick. This is just to give me something here, so I won't have to later on have to worry about filling up tiny little pieces of untouched canvas. Also, it kind of, primes your surface to receive paint in a more creamy way. All right, so now I'm gonna try to keep it like this because I see it glistens in my camera a little bit here. But maybe I'll put a little support here so you guys can see it better. I'm just gonna try now to make a composition to just have an idea of how I want. I'm thinking of 3 roses in a vase, somehow maybe a glass ball. I'm thinking of those roses that you'd cut from your garden. They have wide branches with leaves on them. And I'm thinking to have a variety of sizes. A bigger one in the front, maybe, coming towards me. And then another one that's a medium size, and some tiny buds that are not opened yet. And then thinking of my glass ball somewhere here, maybe. And just with this very quick play, I already have something to start with, something that I can envision in my mind's eye as being a rose bouquet. I'm thinking what I've done here is just remove some paint. I'm thinking this is the table surface somehow. All right. Now that I've done this, I'm gonna go ahead and start building a bit of this rose here. So I'm thinking the middle, if it's a spent rose, really opened up, then in the middle usually gets darker. And I'm gonna try, so maybe like a light pink rose that inside, like when it's a white rose inside, all of that colors, the lighter colors of it sort of reflect. So the only part that would have more color would be inside. Something like that. And maybe that's too bright right now. Let's try to temper it with some purples. So I just added a little bit of blue. This is too dark, so I'm gonna lighten up. Now it's too light. Go back. Maybe some little bit of cooler temperature. This is just the middle. And then I'm gonna start building up some, just to create the shape of my white rose. I'm gonna build up around it some sort of a leafage. And now I'm gonna go and add, I just felt it's a little bit too dry there. So I add a bit of painting medium to make my color slightly more creamy and easy to spread. So I'm working around this rose to give it its shape like negative painting. So even if it's green, I'm still gonna add some pinks in it. I have a bunch of variety of colors with my leaves. I think my rose, it's really spanned, like a spent rose, a really open rose, has a lot of angular edges around. So something like that. I'm starting to change the colors in my leaves. I have a variety. All right, so that's one of my roses. Over here is gonna be the other bud right there, out of leaves, and around here it's gonna be the other rose. Just gonna outline it a little bit. And then here there's a bunch of stems and leaves. So now I'm approaching the bottom part where my glass ball will be. Just introducing this other color in here. So my glass ball, I'm gonna wipe my brush, will be something like this. Maybe like this shape. I really like a wide one. Like that. And now I'm thinking to make this pop a lot, I'm gonna go really dark in the background. So I'm always searching for this sort of value contrast in painting. I'm gonna go really dark. Maybe here more purples. It's hard to describe what I'm doing in the way because it's just very intuitive. I'm sort of playing, trying some of the principles that I've learned in my years of painting. They work. For example, value contrast. It's already, I'm just so excited how quick one can come up with something. Like, don't need a lot of time. That always excites me to discover. I'm still surprised. I didn't always know that. No, I used to I used to come up to approach painting from this mindset that it takes so long. And that really stopped me from painting for a long time, because I said, I don't have time. I don't have all the time that it needs. And then I've discovered that you don't actually need a lot of time. It's just a story you're telling yourself, or I've been telling myself. And since I've discovered that you can paint pretty fast, like I've been painting so much more, really been painting way more often, because I know now it doesn't take a long time, and I can definitely, have 15, 20 minutes out of my day to enjoy myself. And since I've been painting so much more, I've also become a better painter. So it's a very interesting exchange that's been happening since I've learned that they don't need a lot of time to come up with something. And I've also been showing my students this, and my students have become really fast painters, so that means that it's not just me, having some special talent, or it's just this approach, it's this method that really works. I know it works because others achieve similar results that paint in my classes with me. All right, so I'm starting to add even darker colors there, maybe suggesting some stems. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to post them in a comment. I will answer them all. If I don't know the answer, I will look it up and find out for you. That's why I love teaching classes. All the questions that come up really make me research and discover new things. I don't claim to know everything, but I'm very curious, so I love to find answers. I love all questions, unusual questions, silly questions, any kind of questions. It really makes us think more. Let's see if we can start putting in something here in this glass jar. So now that I have a composition here, I can start playing a bit more with the petals. My yellow underpainting is still showing up there. I'm going to get a clean brush because I'm working with light colors. I mean, I could wash this one, but for us to save some time, I grabbed a clean brush. So now these colors are so helpful because they're already slightly tinted from the tube. It's not a bright white. There's a little bit of pink in it. Maybe we can put even more. And I'm gonna start building up some beautiful petals of a white rose. See, it's picking up some of the colors that were underneath there, and that this time it works. But sometimes you don't want that. That can become challenging with oils. I think that what's beautiful about oils is that they stay wet. What's also difficult about oils is that they stay wet. And then, picks up the colors from underneath. All right. Let's see what other shades I can come up with in the darker part here. I also really enjoy painting loosely. Adding some of this yellow tinted white. And how about this light purple? Now I feel like I need here a little bit of contrast to make this rose stand out more. Add a little bit in this too, since I have it on my brush. Maybe I'll make this rose darker. I'll keep wiping off any excess paint. I always paint with the paper towel in my hand, so I've learned to control more the amount of paint there is in my brush. You love those roses that have sort of a coral color to it. I just love those. They're so wonderful. Let's see here. Maybe we can add some of those colors in here too for this one. I ran out of my bright pink that I love so much. Let's put some back in. It's, it's called Fluorescent Pink. I love these colors. Look what a bright coral color created out of touching it with a bit of yellow. You can get these colors, so I don't know. I don't think you can get anything bright like this unless you use a little bit of that. So I love to use it. I took a workshop once with a great artist, and when he saw me pulling out this color, he laughed. But, I love it. I love using it, even if some would consider it, not a serious. I don't care. I'm just having fun with painting. Sometimes all these rules can discourage you from just enjoying. You don't have to be so serious about all this painting business. I'm definitely into it because I enjoy painting, and I have to keep reminding myself that's the reason I paint. Not to create a business, not to be a star, not to become famous. None of those are important. The only thing that truly matters is enjoying painting. If that's lost, then it doesn't matter how successful I get. I will probably be very unhappy. Because the true happiness is not in the money or fame, but it's how you feel. It's how you feel in the having of that. So if you don't feel great, that's why you have all these people, wealthy people committing suicide and being unhappy, because it's not or famous people, because it's not that really creates happiness, but how you feel with yourself, what's your experience of well-being. Do you experience well-being? That's what, it's the only thing that matters, I think. So it's important for me to preserve this joy of painting. Oops. And that's why I don't always take it too seriously. Adding some yellows with these greens. To have some nice accents. Maybe this is another leaf here. I don't think I've ever used this green before, but look, it comes in very handy when you want to do bright, sort of a luminous leaves reflections here. Back to something darker. Here's my pink. I'm going to mix some of that. You don't even see it much. It just makes the blue slightly more purplish. That's all it does. So see how I'm keep turning my brush back and forth? Like creating a really playful... Sometimes I touch it with the corner of my brush. Sometimes with the middle. You see how much paint I have piled up here? Different shades. So That's why I could not even answer. If you would ask me now what colors do you use, how could I know? Because it's a mixed of a variety of them. And so a lot of it is serendipity and chance, and not everything is controlled. Maybe here could be something darker. Maybe that's too dark, but all right, I wiped off some excess. Let's see if I can, whew, that's really thick. I'm gonna come up with some brighter lights here. Let's see if I can make a really beautiful purple. Very light. Okay, this is kind of rather pink, so adding a little bit of this blue. That's lovely. Look at that. Put some of that here. Also looking for some grays. So when you have gray, in contrast with all that color there, it will really make that color pop out more. That's one way you could make your colors look more vibrant, is adding gray or more muted colors around it. So I'm imagining that inside the jar there must be some stems or maybe a couple of leaves too. So I'm just gonna touch here, a little bit here and there. As a reflection. What should I do here? I feel it's slightly too chopped up here, so I want to see if I can make it more uniform here. I want this part of the vase to stand out a little bit. That's why I'm adding something a little bit darker here, just to make that stand out a little bit. I'm trying to blend to have less texture here, just to have, they're so busy, let's do something more soothing here, just to, again, contrast, chasing this contrast, always variety. And now, maybe I can put a little bit of, like a reflection here on the edge of the vase, like that. Then grab some really bright white. It's so thick it literally stays three-dimensional. So I'm just gonna add it here. It's a reflection to my jar. Some, they have a reflection at the bottom here too. Again, look at the jar, you know. When you're bored, you know, just look around you and look at objects, and that will help you later when you paint. Will help you figure out how objects look like. That's too white. Just gonna try to tone it down a little bit. Let's see if I can get the really, I still have a little bit of this aqua color. I'm gonna mix it with my something light here. I have a couple of reflections from those leaves too. Some lighter bluish, greenish. Yeah, I like it. It's so happy. See how much it helped to add all these darks around, how all these stand out? now. Maybe do a couple of more darker to send this back, this whole middle of the flower, and then I think we're pretty done. I'm not sure what time it is and how long this took, but I don't think that long. I don't think it took too long. Oh, I like that burgundy. It was just by accident kind of created. It just warms up a little bit. I like that. So a lot of the things are being discovered by just playing and trying out. All right. I think this might be it. Let me see if I can wipe off my brush and just make it here more quiet. If I can make maybe. I don't know. What do you think? Give it a try. Post it in, I created a group for people watching my demonstrations. You can post it there, your try, and connect with other people. Let's inspire each other to enjoy painting. See, this works like you can have a centered painting as long as you create some dynamics in it. So my vase is centered, but because the flowers twist this symmetry, then it works. So plus is different size shapes. So that's a way to have a centered object that will still work. It's usually in painting we avoid having too much symmetry, center objects like that. All right, this is my oil painting demonstration for today. I'm gonna do an acrylic painting demo on Friday at 10 a.m. Let me know if you think 10 a.m. is too early for those on the West Coast. Maybe I can move it at 11. And if you feel moved to support me and donate something towards my today's demonstration, I put a link to my PayPal account in the description of this video. Any amount is appreciated. You definitely don't have to. Please share this with your friends so they can enjoy painting. Now we're gonna have to let this painting dry out. Happy painting, everybody. Thank you for watching.